Okay. Hi, guys. Thanks for jumping on. I feel like it's been a while since we've all seen each other. So I can't remember what our last team call was. I'm like blanking out, but I feel like it was a really long time ago. But March was a 5-week month, so it's probably been 5 weeks as opposed to 4. So I am so excited about this call for multiple reasons. And I have a few announcements to share with you. And then after that, I'm going to share a little bit. I'm going to answer some of your questions that you had about how I hit Success Club every month. I'm just going to kind of talk about my journey, what I do, and some of you might have heard it before, but I'm going to explain it kind of again and what I do and what I found to work in the last 20 months as a coach. And then we are going to hear from Beeda. She's going to share with us, and I'll tell you a little bit more about what she's going to share about when we get closer to it. I'm really excited to hear from her. And then I'm going to close up our call just sharing a few logistics with you guys about my business, because I know some of you have been curious about that and kind of how that works and what Diamond looks like and why I'm pushing so hard for 2-star. So that's kind of how our call is going to go, and I'm really excited about it. So it's kind of, I was prepping for the call, and I was writing some things out, and then I just thought, you know what, like, I have things written down to talk about, but at the same time, I feel like I just want to share more about what I do with you, not from a script, but just about kind of what I do. So people ask me all the time, not just on our team, but I get other coaches messaging me all the time, how do you always pull such big Success Club numbers? How do you hit Success Club? How do you keep doing it every single month? So this is the 20th month in a row that I've hit SC10 or above. And that was I really think that from the very beginning, part of what I want to share with you, and I posted about this today on my workout photo, is that I really believe that my mindset has been key in my success in this business. Not only to my success in Success Club, but my success to my longevity in the business so far, and why I haven't given up and why I'm not giving up. And so if we don't talk about mindset first, about how I think that you won't understand how I've gotten to where I am, if that makes sense. So when I first came into the business, someone said to me, okay, you can choose to, hit the basics, shoot for Success Club 5, or if you really want your business to take off, you can shoot for Success Club 10. And I said, well, I want to make this work. And so I didn't know if I would hit Success Club 10, but I said, that's my non-negotiable. And so from the very beginning, I had a fire underneath my booty to help as many people as I could. And I made a commitment in the very beginning to be super vulnerable about my life and about my journey. And it was hard. I started my coaching journey when I was 10 pounds into my weight loss, maybe not even 10 pounds. So I was not anywhere near my goal. And what I decided to do was just share every single part of it, not knowing if anybody would join me. That first month, I had 5 people join me, and that was my Success Club 10. I hit the minimum, Success Club 10. And then after that, what I found was, as I went along, I realized that I wasn't wording things well to people. And so I kind of found what worked for me, and I tweaked it along the way. So what I found, and this is what I want to share with you about my mindset, is that first of all, it's a non-negotiable to me to set my standards higher than what I think I can do. Because honestly, you guys, I know you're going to laugh at me, but literally I go into every single month thinking, how in the world am I going to hit Success Club 10? I think, how in the world am I going to do this? Because I feel like I've capped out on my people. But the reason why I think I haven't capped out on my people yet is because I keep inviting every single day. I add people to my network every single day. I'm working on building my Instagram every single day. And I really, really work hard on being consistent. So with mindset, I want to share with you that I think one of the most important things when it comes to mindset is making a couple of things non-negotiable. Making your workout every day a non-negotiable. Making inviting a non-negotiable. Making sharing your story and who you are a non-negotiable. And those are the things that I have found to be successful in helping me hit Success Club every single month. It doesn't happen on the first of every month for me. But what I've done is I've also planned my months out. If you see my calendar, I've planned out the next 5 months of when my challenge groups are going to fall, when I'm going to advertise for those groups. I start 3 weeks out from every challenge group, And I just decide that I'm going to be consistent with posting on social media. Sometimes I get more of a response than others. Sometimes I put up a post that, like tonight, for example, I threw up a post like literally in 2 minutes. It was one of those ones that I was like, well, it's Transformation Tuesday. I didn't put a whole lot of thought into this one, but I have a picture. So I'm just going to throw it up there because I know I need to be consistent. And I don't know, I haven't checked in the last few, but I threw it up and within like, I don't know, 30 minutes, I had like 26, 27 likes on it. And the thing about that is that sometimes it's just being consistent that brings people in, and you never know. And so the reason why I want to share that with you a little bit about my story, and I know it's not necessarily like concrete 1, 2, 3, is because everybody asks me, how do you do it? And I say, I show up every single day. I really do. I make my power hour a non-negotiable. I decided that I wanted this business to work more than I wanted to watch my Netflix shows. I made a decision at the very beginning. People say, well, let's just give it 6 months and let's see what happens. And in the very beginning, I said, and I tell you guys this all the time, I said, nope, I'm giving this 3 years, non-negotiable, 3 years, because people say once you hit the 3-year mark, that's when things start to roll. And I think what happens is the longer that you stay in it through the ups and downs, fighting through things, figuring out your system, your way of wording things, what you're going to find is that over time, that consistency and that success is going to pay off. Now, I know some of you have been consistent on social media and you're saying, well, it's still not really working for me. I don't know why it's not working for me. I'm going to make sure everybody's muted here. Or if you can all, let's see if you can all manage, mute yourself. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Hold on just a second. Do you guys know how to mute? Let's see. I think I got everybody. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Now you're all muted and you can't tell me what I was saying. Oh, man. What was I talking about? Oh, my gosh. Pray go.
Non-negotiable to do your power hour.
Oh, yes. Thank you. So I made it my non-negotiable at the very beginning to do my power hour every single day. And what I found was that the afternoons didn't work for me because I was trying to squeeze it in. My kids didn't nap, or things came up, or I was tired, or I needed to clean my house, or whatever it may be. So you guys, for the last year, I've gotten up at 4:50 in the morning to do my power hour. I'm not suggesting that you have to do that, but I just share that with you because people say, it has not come easy to me. I've gotten up early in the mornings. I love my sleep. Contrary to what you might think, I am not a morning person. But I have learned that I know that I want this business to work long term, so I'm willing to give things up in the short term. So my question to some of you about posting and showing up every single day is, what are you doing behind the scenes every single day to make your business work? And I'm going to have Beeda talk in just a second about this, because there was a point where she came to me. She's like, she was discouraged, and she was like, this isn't working. I don't know what to do. And, I just encouraged her through it and said, keep being consistent. And she's going to share with you what happened to her through consistency. And I swear the consistency, it does pay off. Now, I know what I was going to say. So I know some of you say, I'm sharing my story on social media. I'm doing all this, I'm doing my workouts, I'm doing this, and it's still not working. Well, another thing that I want to share with you that might be helpful to you is that when I talk to people about the product, I got to this point where I had so much confidence in what I was saying that I never once apologized for what I was doing. And I think that we oftentimes apologize through the things that we say about what we're doing. We apologize for the cost. I understand it's a lot of money. Don't say that to people. The reason why is because it is not a lot of money to invest in your health for $160 for a whole package that could change your life. Looking back on that, I enrolled with $160 with the 21-day fix. Best investment I have ever made in my entire life. It changed my life. I would pay it 100 times over. I probably have by the time I paid for my Shaco, but that's how much I believe in the product, because it changed my life. So when you're talking to people about the product, you got to talk with confidence. Instead of talking about the product, you are the product. Don't talk about Shakeology. Don't talk about the 21-day fix. Talk about you and what it's done to change your life. And if they come back with something talking about, well, it's too expensive, blah, blah, blah. Say, yeah, this is what I say. I say, I totally understand where you're coming from. What I have found is that what I have gained from it is invaluable, and I would pay that amount 100 times over. I understand if it's not a great place, it's not a good time for you right now. Totally understand that. But I just want to share with you that coming from someone who used to be a skeptic, I can now say with confidence it was the best 160, 199, 199, I still think is a steal that I've ever spent. So when you start to talk about the product, and obviously you never lead with that kind of a thing, right? This is after building relationships and commenting and talking to people and back and forth. What you're going to find is that people are going to really, the more that you're invested in who you are and how the programs have changed you, the more people are going to be invested in following you, and the more they're going to be invested in wanting to know more about you, right? For example, like I just talked about that post I just threw up, the first 10 people that liked it, I was watching, I was doing some other stuff on Facebook, and I was watching kind of the likes pop up or whatever, the notifications. And I was like, that person's never liked my post before, that person. And what I realized, those people were people that I've been messaging back and forth with or commenting on their pictures. And they're watching me, and they may not be ready to commit, but I'm spending time, just a quick maybe 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night, scrolling through my Facebook, looking intentionally for people that I have not reached out to yet, and just commenting. Like one girl grew up in the same city that I did. Don't know how I friend requested her. I think I thought I knew her. I don't think I do. But I think we went to the same high school. Anyways, so she commented about a food recipe the other day. I mean, she posted a food recipe. And I was like, that looks healthy. So she said, let me know if you want the recipe. And she was just doing it just for fun, not for any other purpose. And so I said, oh, I would love the recipe. Would you mind messaging me on her newsfeed? I'm on her Facebook post, not in a private message, because I wanted to get that affinity going between she and I, right? So then she sends me a message. We're messaging back and forth, not about anything having to do with Beachbody. We're talking about a soup. And we're talking about how she went dairy-free and gluten-free and how this soup has really helped her. And I was telling her how I wonder if I'm lactose intolerant sometimes, just opening up about my life with her, just in general, just very back and forth. Conversation ended. She sent me the recipe. I'm going to make the soup tomorrow. I'm going to post about it because I know that'll help build her confidence in me. And then she liked my post. So what that tells me is that she's starting to watch me, and she knows that I'm a genuine person. I had genuine interest in her. So that's how I do it, you guys. I spend time every single day building relationships with people. It doesn't take long. It takes literally, like I said, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. Oh, your kids' dresses are so cute. Where did you get them? That took me, 10 seconds to type? Go to the next person. Talking about, I love, you're so lucky that you still live in Wyoming. I love the sky. I miss the big sky. Whatever it is, ways to connect with people that just let you know that you're watching them, and then they start watching you. And then when the time comes, starting private messages. This girl that I was just talking about with the soup, I'm not going to message her and say, hey, do you want to be a part of my challenge group? Maybe down the road in a couple of months, maybe if I'm really struggling for Success Club and really needing to work on inviting, then yes, I will. But most of the time what I found is the people end up coming to me because I've taken time to build relationships outside of the cold invite, if that makes sense. So there is a time to ask people to join your challenge group. There is a time to do those sorts of things. But what I have found is that as you work on it, that's why I'm saying there's longevity. There needs to be longevity in your mindset in this business, because a lot of the people that joined me 6 months ago were the people that I was messaging with about random stuff. And then 6 months, like this month, I had several people come to me that I messaged with 6 months ago say, I'd really like more information. So if I had given up, those people never would have come to me, right? So that's kind of how I do it. That's how I hit Success Club every single month, because over the last 20 months, I've been faithful to show up every day, build relationships, work on different avenues of whether it be Instagram or whether it be, I tried Snapchat for a little bit, did not work for me. But whatever it may be, those are the ways that I have found that keep me being successful in the business. I can honestly say to you that in the last 20 months of my business, on Sundays, I do a small power hour because that's my day of rest, but I still check in with my challengers and that kind of stuff. Um, but over the last 20 months, I would tell you that I've probably only skipped, maybe besides Sunday not included, I probably only skipped maybe 8 power hours in that time. That's how. So when people say, how do you do it? I've shown up. And I show up when people can't see me. I show up early in the morning, and I've made it work because I really, really, really want this. So I don't know if that's helpful to kind of understand a little bit more about me. But all the time people say, you make it look so easy. I work for those numbers, you guys. I really do. I've expanded my network on Facebook. I think I started out with like 900 Facebook friends. I'm up to 1,700 because I add to my network daily. Sometimes, and yes, there have been a couple of times when it's been awkward when people are like, I don't really know you. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I saw we went to high school together, and totally understand if you don't want to accept my request. That's totally okay. But I'm always looking to connect with other moms, Yeah, sometimes that happens, and that's okay with me. And I am picky about who I select. I have to have a certain number of friends in common with them, so I feel like I am comfortable with that. But what my point with that is that I've I've tried to grow, and as I've grown, my business has grown. And personal development goes without saying. I mean, it's something you got to do. Keeps your head above water, keeps you thinking about things other than yourself, and helps you work through things that are going on in your head so that you can keep helping others. So I'm not going to share quite about my logistics about finances and stuff until the end of the call. And then you guys can ask any questions that you want. I'm an open book. You don't have to be embarrassed about what you're asking. I'd love to share with you. But I am so excited to have Beeda share with us. So Beeda and we went to the same church. We were in kind of the same circles. We had some really great mutual friends, and we knew each other, but I wouldn't say we knew each other like super well. But I always admired her and just loved her heart for people from the time she's a little bit older than I am. And I always admired her heart for people and just how joyful she was. That always stuck out to me about her. And that has not changed. And like I kind of mentioned earlier, I'm going to let her share what she messaged me about just a little bit ago, because I think that's really cool what you messaged me about. But just, I want her to share a little bit with you guys about her journey, how it started, and then what she's done currently to see a flow start in her business. So Beeda, take it away.
I think I'm unmuted now, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So, hi. I'm really humbled and honored that I was asked to share with you tonight. So, but I'm also super excited because it's, like Margot said, it's been purely with the encouragement and the dedication to sticking with the vitals that have really helped me to push through, and that I think I've finally been able to see some results. And I started with Beachbody in September of 2015. I found a post from a friend in Florida who had posted about that she was a coach and wanted to have someone join her for size. And I was like, I don't know what this Beachbody thing is, and certainly don't know anything about the shakes. I was really skeptical about the gimmicks, because there's so much stuff out there that gets constantly bombarded and in your face. And I thought, I was so desperate at that point, because I had come from a really, really difficult move. And for the last probably 3 years, I have really struggled with some serious depression and things that I just, life circumstances that were way out of my control, and things that came up and just surged wave after wave after wave. And it was like every time I think I get my feet on the ground, another wave would come and just knock me out. And we had people dying, friends dying, family dying, and not being able, I bought a house and then I'm not able to live in it because it's in such bad shape, and I'm still not able to live in it, but it will get there. And so, and so I'm living in my parents' basement and not able to do anything like what I had aspired to do. I'm a dancer, a theater performer. I've done a lot of international traveling, and I had my own business with that for several years. And to have all of that suddenly yanked out of my grasp, and then have no purpose whatsoever and no ability to really find any jobs or do anything, was really devastating. And I knew that my fitness was something that was extremely vital to my success as just a normal, regular behaving person. My mental status, my emotional status, that it all really was very dependent on my physical. And I needed that. So that's what caused me to first step out and say, look, I am interested. Tell me about this. And she convinced me to jump on. I didn't do very well, honestly, that first challenge with her, because looking back on it, I don't think she was the right coach for me. She did not chase after my heart. And just like any other thing that's worth having, if you really value your challengers, you want to make sure that you invest in them and find out, what makes them tick? Why are they wanting to join your group? Is there anything that stands out to you? I mean, are they just jumping in because they want to tone up for going to Hawaii? Or is it because they're really in a bad place like I was and they just need a little bit of extra guidance? And a little extra input to say, no, you can do this. This is okay. You can start from scratch and you're still going to be okay. I was really embarrassed to ask, because being involved in physical dance and theater and mime for years and years and years, like 16 years, I wasn't able to do this on myself to be a healthy person. And I was really embarrassed. And I had to come to the point where I was humbled enough to say, look, I need help. I cannot do this by myself. And so I didn't do very well that first challenge. She convinced me to sign up with the 21-day fix. And again, I was really struggling with it because my home conditions were not ideal. We have a very low ceiling in our basement, and there's not a whole lot of time to do it in because I was overworked. I do housekeeping for businesses and homes. And so anytime I was available to use that space, there was somebody else in it. And so I just had all these excuses and all these reasons not to. I beat my hands up to, a lot of size workouts and things, trying to keep up with all of it. And the ceiling was so low and I'm so tall. I was not enjoying it. It really did not work for me. So now it does. So anyway, I quit. I quit my Shakeology. I kept my membership, but I quit. I couldn't handle it. She didn't reach out to me anymore. I love her dearly now. I wouldn't trade her as a friend for anything, but as far as my coach, she wasn't there for me. And then around springtime, I started seeing these posts from Miss Margot, and and I was so encouraged and so blessed by her posts and her excitement for this newfound freedom that she had. And I was like, oh, that's what I wish I could get. I mean, that's the thing I want it so bad. And so I messaged her, and the thing that Margot was saying that she was going to let me share with you is something I just discovered right before this call. And that is that I went back to see when I had messaged her, and it was literally 4 days ago, would make 1 year exactly that I messaged her. And I was like, whoa, that's just like a really cool coincidence, a God moment where you just realize how full circle things have come, that you finally step out of that scary place and jump out on that leap of faith that you think is impossible, and you're able to get there. So yeah, I messaged her about being a coach. What's it like for, being a coach with Beachbody? And I'm interested. And she wrote me back and said, yes, I'm excited about this. Blah, blah, blah. It literally took me until June before I actually did anything. And even at that, I just said, well, can I just join as a, participant in your challenge group? Because I don't have any money and I just want to use what I have because I haven't used it. And she was like, sure, that's fine. And literally that challenge group has rocked my life. I mean, it did everything and spoke to my heart, my soul, my mind, my body, and everything. I lost 9 pounds and 7.5 inches that challenge. And it was like, whoa, yes, thank you, Lord. This is so awesome. This is exactly what I've been looking for. And I was so on fire for it. And Margot was like, so you want to be a coach? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, yes, you do. And I said, okay, well, what do I have to do? And she said, well, you need to sign up with another challenge pack. So I did. And I was really a little bit nervous because I knew I had this missions trip coming up, and I was still struggling with some depression issues. When you go through a significant time of depression, there's always a significant time of recovery. You don't just pop out of it just because things go right. And I know Margot can attest to that too. and probably many of you as well, because we all go through those really deep struggles. And so I knew that that was going to be a challenge. Going to Africa, I'm not going to have internet access or anything like that. And I planned to start my coaching right after I got back. And needless to say, it did not happen. I was not able to come back and hit the ground running like I planned. Life circumstances, again, just kind of knocked my feet out from underneath me. And so I didn't really take things seriously until January. And I hit January 1st this year, and I realized, you know what? I'm not going to let anyone, no person, no spiritual force, no nothing, take one more moment of my life away from me. I'm going to hit this with everything I've got, and I'm either going to do this or I'm not. And so I started listening to the wake-up calls with absolute regimen. I mean, I started listening to the ones that were from previous months, and really just drinking them in. And I started really paying attention to absolutely everything that Margot posted, everything that she said. And I wrote it all down, and I just started listening with my whole body. And then, January really was really hard because a lot of stuff happened and it didn't do as like I expected. And so I got really mad. And Margot can tell you that I'm kind of embarrassed because I messaged her on probably the worst day of the month. One of my pets had died. And I was like, I can't believe this is not working. I don't want to be a salesperson. I hate, being a salesperson. I don't want to do this. That's not what I signed up for. I feel like I'm failing at everything and blah. I mean, I just exploded. And then I had to write back and apologize because that was so not what I really wanted to say. But in that moment, I really lost it. And all of my insides just kind of spilled out. So if you've been there, you can know that I've been there too. And it's okay because you come out of it. And so Margot, in her sweet, wonderful way of coaching, just stood up beside me and said, you know what, it's all right. You just need to find your niche and you need to find out what really makes you tick in this business and where you can line that up. And so I went back to prayer, and I realized that my original reason for wanting to sign up as a coach was not for me. It was to share what I had with other people because I loved it so much. And so if any of you read the Bible, Philippians 2:3 is what really just changed my life at that moment. And it says, if you've gotten anything at all out of following Christ, if his love has made any difference in your life, if being in a community of the Spirit means anything to you, if you have your heart and if you care, then do me a favor. Agree with one another, love each other, be deep-spirited friends. Don't push your way to the front. Don't sweet talk your way to the top. Put yourself aside and help others get ahead. Don't be obsessed with getting your own advantage. Forget yourselves long enough to lend a helping hand. And I was like, okay, then that needs to be my focus. I need to really put my focus on genuinely caring about these people that I really genuinely do care about. And it's not about, my mission is not about selling something. That's not what I signed up for. I'm selling my life. I want to be this person that is an example like Margot was to me and change people's lives through this. And so what I started to do was I started private messaging people and asking them if they wanted to join my group. Well, of course, nobody wanted to join my group to begin with because I didn't know how to approach it or anything. My challenge group came and went, and there was nobody. And I was really discouraged, and I thought, well, I'm going to offer a free group because a lot of people like free things, and I can do a free group and it's not going to cost me anything, and it may get some interest. And so I offered my first free group, and I got 7 people. And out of that 7 people, I got my first two challenge packs sold. And that really lit a fire underneath me to really start investing in people. I thought with that first free group, I was just going to pour my whole life, heart, and soul into it, just like they were paid participants. And so I started then reformatting the way I messaged people, and I started sharing, going to their page first and making sure I was up to date on what they were living. Like Margot said, I really want to know who these people are and make sure that I'm not forgetting that they are living their lives and they just need somebody to invest in them and care about it. And so I start my message to them with, hi, I haven't seen you in a long time. And I noticed that your children are like 10 years old now. Holy cow, where did the time go? And I don't know if you've seen my recent post, but I became a coach with Beachbody, and this is what I'm doing. And if you haven't started a health journey, I'd love to help you with it. And so that started to get me in the groove with people and start conversations with them. I never got one negative response from that. I got people who said, no, thank you, but I'm so glad you reached out to me. And so some of those have actually come back and actually signed up with me. And then I started asking myself, what do these people need? And in my circle, so my circle doesn't reach the same circle as Margot's. Margot has a lot of moms, and that is not where I'm at. I'm a single person with, a whole different atmosphere around me. I live in a retirement community of 900 people, which has a lot of challenges. And so getting to think towards that, I was like, well, what's going to speak to the people that are around me and who are in my circle and who are regularly watching my Facebook feed? And what I realized is that they need encouragement, they need guidance, they need genuine input. And these people that I'm around, maybe they need something that is not already formatted for people who are physically fit or even, capable. And so my parents started asking me just at the beginning of this month, well, we were thinking that maybe we'd like to join in on one of your challenges. And I was so excited because they've never shown a single iota of interest before. They've been supportive, but they were just like, it's another thing. So they started and they wanted to know what program they could do because they have very strong physical limitations. And so I asked them specifically what their limitations were. And then I went digging into Beachbody's programs, and I researched every single program that's in Beachbody's videos and found the one that would fit their specific needs. And that happened to be Tai Chi. And if you've not looked that one up before, it's awesome for older folks or for people who have physical limitations for balance. And so a lot of my community is responding to my posts on Tai Chi. And then the other thing is, like Margot said, I've been trying not to force myself on the community or on my Facebook feed with, shoveling Beachbody down their throat. I'm just trying to show them how it affects my life. And then I've been building relationships for them and not just for me, and listening to that wake-up call. And I understood what Margot said when she said, make it a non-negotiable thing that you're going to hit SC5. And I was like, okay, I'm going to shoot for SC10 every month, but it's non-negotiable that I'm going to hit SC5 every month. That is just, and non-negotiable means what am I willing to give up in order to reach that goal? And for me, I took it just like Margot said, I'm going to have to get up early in the morning in order to do this. And so I've been getting up an hour and a half early every morning to show up and do just like she was saying. I was like, if it's working for her, I'm going to follow that format unless something doesn't work. And then I'm going to keep looking for an option. And I've been messaging at least 10 to 20 people every day. I'm getting up that extra hour, trying to make sure I post 3 to 5 times a day. That's huge for me because I was so absent from social media for so long. I want to be a product of the product with those vitals. And I believe in this product 150%. And so like she was saying with sharing, sorry about the phone, sharing the value of the product, it is not expensive. And so when somebody says, oh, it's really expensive, I was like, no, really, let me show you how it's not. Because you're breaking it down to like $4 a day and you're getting a free coach. I mean, seriously, if you've ever paid for a private trainer or a coach or looked into Pilates training or something, you pay $40 an hour for that person. And they're not even doing the workout with you. So not showing up every day. It's 1 hour a week. And so I have to believe in this 100% in order to make other people believe it 100%. And something as a mime artist that I have learned is, and that they teach you in that training, is when you want to make something invisible visible, you have to believe that it's there 100%. You have to actually see that object. If you don't see what you're projecting to your audience, they will never see it with that same vision. And so I took that and I applied it to this business, and it's been helping me so much because I don't have to ever question the value of it because I know that value 100%. It's never an issue with me to defend what this is worth. And then the other thing that I learned is I've if somebody says no, then I'm like, okay, great. Can I check up with you? Or can I, just stay in touch with you? Can I follow up with you later? You want to try a free group sometime? I run them every month. And a lot of people, when they're not interested in trying a paid group, are very, very interested in trying a free group. And we know that, but then we forget to pursue those people. And so that's helped a lot. I've gotten a lot of people interested via the free groups. And then it's just the last thing is I've just realized that I need to offer people what I have inside of me. And that is my why. I want to help inspire people. I want to give what I have inside of me, that joy, that freedom of life, to them. I love vintage clothing. And so that's something that I share regularly. When I dress up, I'm going to take a picture and share that, because that's something that's important to me. And a lot of people respond to that. Food and recipes that you make. I mean, I have so many people that want to see and know what a recipe is. So sharing that like once a week is awesome. And then sharing the innovative workouts and programs that you find on Beachbody that are maybe tucked away in the hidden corners, that's huge, because people only know like the most current ones. So if you dig out some of the old ones and find something that hasn't been surfaced in a while, like the Tai Ching, I'm finding people come out of the woodwork on this, and it's like, whoa, this is amazing. So the other thing, and the last thing that I wanted to share with you that I do that is a non-negotiable thing, is when I get people signed up for a challenge group, I pray for them. I write them all down on a list, and I remember to pray for them daily, because they're going to come up against some challenges that may want to knock them off underneath their feet. And I don't want that to happen, because I'm not there for them. We're all doing a lot of battle, and prayer is something that is free, and it's something that is invaluable in the grand scheme of things. And so that really has been the key to what I have found in the last several months, has helped me step beyond what I have been able to do in the past and find my niche. I'm still learning. I am still learning, and I want to learn. I want to always be teachable. And I love learning from you guys as well and seeing your posts. But that's really what I have to say.
Yay, that was so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I don't know about, I took so many notes over here. I feel like I kind of just went to church. It was so good. I just, a couple things. I love what you talked about. And I think a really important takeaway from what she said is she had to ask herself that question, like, what is going to speak to the people in my circle? Think about that. Like, what defines who you are, circumstantially as a person, like where you live, the dynamic of the people around where you live, who you are. Are you a mom? Are you single? Are you a fur mama? Are you, like, what are you? And take that and use it, because people are going to be attracted to you, not someone who you think you need to be, right? So I love that. And I love how you talked about, like, basically the fortune is in the follow-up. So say, can I contact you? I do that too. Would it be okay if I reached out to you in a month or two to see kind of where you're at, or invite them to your free groups? I'm really starting to believe that we should all be running free groups every single month. There's lots of templates. You don't have to make one up for yourself.
Yeah, it's super easy.
It's super easy, and they are really fun. And I love what you said about how you treat those challengers like they are paid customers, because or really, if you're invested in people, you're going to want to build into their hearts, right? And so that's really what that does. So I love all that you shared in your story, and I just think it's so neat. Like, I mean, you guys, we've all had ups and downs in the business, even if we've only been a coach for a month. It's like this, oh, like, no one's going to want to join me. Oh, yeah, maybe a couple people. Oh, no, they're not going to do it. Oh, no, And the thing about it is that it's consistency that pays off, and it's finding your circle. And you know what? Sometimes it takes you 6 months to find your circle. Sometimes it takes you a year. But once you find it, you're going to find it, and it's going to work. So keep at it. Keep being encouraged. You're changing hearts, you're changing bodies, and you're changing your own life. So stay focused on your mindset and changing yourself from the inside out and helping people. And I really believe that things are going to happen. And on that note, before I go into my logistics, I want to say I'm so proud of this team. Like, seriously, this month, everything's just exploded. We have 2 rank advancements coming this Thursday. I am just seeing you guys helping so many people, and that's so exciting to me, you guys. And I hope you feel that fire. Even if you're not at SC yet this month, I hope you feel the fire inside of yourself to help people and to reach out. And you know what? if you do your best till the end of the month and you don't hit SC and you really have done everything that you know how to do, you've done your best and you've helped people and you have worked on yourself. But at the same time, make SC your non-negotiable until midnight on the 31st of every month because that's what's going to make it happen. And it's also the way you talk about the product. So that's really good. Yeah.
So on that note, just the last person I needed for my SC point last month, I got literally at, I think it was 11 o'clock or something on the last day. It was so close. So
yeah,
it's never too late.
Right. That happened, it's funny, it happened with you, and I think it happened with Jessica, and I think it might have happened with Kim too. It happened with like 3 people on our team. So, I mean, that's like, it can happen, you guys. You just have to work to make it happen. So, yes, so that was really great. Thank you so much. And I love what you said about the mime thing too. I want you to like share that on our team page because I think that's a great analogy of like, you have to make what is invisible visible for other people. I think that's so important. And so I'd love if you'd like post something about that on our team page in the next couple of days because I think that's a really good analogy to remember that we have to show others that fire inside of us. We can't just expect them to see it if we don't share and continue to share, Right. So it's really cool. Okay, so I know it's getting late, so good, but I just want to share a couple things with you. Before I forget, a couple of announcements in case you didn't see. At Super Saturday, there are 2 new workouts coming out, and one of them is going to be great for people that are very new to exercise. One of the struggles I have with 21 Day Fix is it's a fantastic program, but I feel like sometimes there are some people that have physical limitations, and Beeda, you totally found a solution to that, which is awesome. And I think another solution is going to be Leandro is coming out with that U versus 2 or whatever it is called, I think, UB2. And it's for beginners, and it's kind of like a dance, silly, don't take yourself too seriously. I think it's going to be great for low impact, way lower impact than country heat that will still work up a sweat for people that struggle with their movement. And then also Shift Shop is coming out with Chris Downing, and I'm excited about that one. That's coming out. I'm assuming they're releasing it at Summit in July. So if you're going to Summit, you'll get your hands on it first. It's a 3-week agility training program, intense, but totally going to lean you out. I'm excited to try that post-pregnancy. But I mean, maybe I'll give it a try it modified. But I think that those are 2 really great ways. And that's the thing I love about Beachbody. They're always coming out with new programs and new things, trying to reach new audiences. They made 2 new vegan shakes, right, to reach even more of the vegan audience. You guys, our company is not telling us to do things and to reach out of our comfort zone and reach out to more people without doing it themselves. They're being a product of their own word. They're saying, we're going to expand our network. We're going to continue to expand our programs and our product to reach as many people as we can, which I think is so cool. I love being a part of Beachbody. Okay, so just to kind of share, and feel free, like I said, you can type questions in the chat if you want to. Feel free to ask me any questions. But like I said, just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea about why I love being a diamond and why I'm not going to be stopping at diamond, and why I think no one in here should be shooting for diamond but for 2-star at minimum. And I'm not there yet, but I know that's where the magic happens because I've seen it happen at diamond, but I know it happens even more so at 2-star. When I first started with Beachbody, I hit SC10 my very first month. And at that point, I had 5 people join me in my challenge group, and you made $40 a pop. So I made $200 my first month of Beachbody. And I was so excited about that because that was more than my Shakeology. So it paid for my Shakeology and helped pay off my credit card that I put the 21 Day Fix on without telling my husband. I don't ever do that. And that's what I did for my very first 21 Day Fix because I really didn't think it was going to work, you guys. That's really how I was so convinced it wasn't going to work. I didn't want to ask my husband to sign up for one more thing, but this changed my life. So I don't do things like that behind my husband's back, but he's okay with that one. So anyways, so that was my first month. And then I would say that once I went to Emerald, I averaged about $800 a month because I was still hitting SC10 and seeing a little bit of the Team Cycle bonuses and free leads and hitting in between SC10 and SC20 every single month. And then as my business has grown, when I became a diamond coach, the Team Cycle bonuses started increasing. They were very small at first because I didn't have a lot of working coaches underneath me. So I would, get the $18 team cycle bonus, which I was like, $18, it's $18 more than I would have had before. And now as a diamond coach with a team that I feel like is working their booties off, and I'm so proud of, my team cycle bonuses are around $250 extra on the paycheck. Maybe per week, it depends. Sometimes they're 100, sometimes they're 250. It just depends. Beachbody also matches 10% of your team bonus. So you get an extra, whatever it is on top of that, which is also very nice. When you sign a coach, if you sign, I think it's 4 or more coaches in a month, they give you a $100 bonus as well. So that has contributed to my income. So that's why it pays to sign coaches on top of the commission you get for whatever product they purchase. As a diamond, ever since I hit diamond, I would say I average around $1,800 to $2,000 a month through Beachbody. And I would say, and that's not just through sales, but through building a team. And to me, that is way more than I thought I would be making at this point. Sometimes it's $1,500 a month. Sometimes it's $2,400 a month. But I would say on average, it's about $2,000 a month. And it's growing. And that's the thing I love about this. I love that this business has room for growth and room for improvement. And the reason why I'm shooting for 2-star and why I want to encourage you to not look at, yes, Emerald is a great accomplishment. Diamond is a huge accomplishment, but you need to be thinking 2-star in your head, because what happens when you hit 2-star, and I want us all to get there, is you get to open your second CBC underneath yourself. Okay. And if you don't understand what this means, let me explain it to you. Not only you can sign yourself up again as a coach underneath yourself. So for example, my husband is one of my coaches. He doesn't work with Beachbody, but I could sign him up. I could sign myself up as a coach underneath his weak leg. Okay. And then what happens though, is that my second CBC, my second person, still counts towards my first CBC. So I can put all my challenge pack orders underneath my second CBC, and it still counts towards my Success Club points for my first CBC. Do you see what I'm saying? So not only do you get commission in your second CBC, but you also get volume because they're on your team. You're on your own team underneath yourself. Is this making sense? So you're making volume off of, so you're increasing your team cycle bonuses because you're increasing the volume and making extra commission off of that. Plus it's the same person in each business center. It's just you get to be basically 2 of you, which is awesome. And then not only that, but once you hit 2-star, you get quarterly bonuses from Beachbody. And depending on the time when you're 2-star, they're about $900 per quarter, which is amazing. Once you hit 5-star, I think it goes up to like $3,000 at least. I think I posted this. And then once you hit, I can't remember what it is, 10-star, it's like significantly more than that. But what you need to understand is that if you were to hit 10-star, you get the 10-star bonus pool plus the 5-star bonus pool plus the 2-star bonus pool, 2-star bonus pool. So you're getting like a $20,000 bonus per quarter. So that's why it pays to build and rank, and why really you should be thinking about 2-star, because that's where your business expands and where it really, really grows. Okay. So I'm not there yet. I want to be there so bad. And I want you guys to be at diamond and 2-star so bad, because I know what it can do to free you up financially and to make things work. But the biggest thing about it, you guys, is as this team has grown over the last specifically 5 months, I am so blessed as a coach to have you all on my team. I feel blessed by your spirit, your heart, your drive to help people. You guys, it is a joy to have a team underneath you. And listen, you do not have to run your team by yourself. I chose to make my own team page when I turned diamond. If you don't want to do that, keep adding them to our page and you can jump in and we can do trainings together. You don't have to do it all yourself. Don't think that once you hit diamond, it's this big, scary, I have to branch out all on my own. No, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. Everybody's at a different, some people may want to do that. Some people may just want to stay in this page and encourage their coaches, and that's okay. But what I want to share with you is that building your team is going to be the key to you growing your business, both emotionally and financially. So, because it has blessed me so much to have a team underneath me of people that I get to pour into every single day. You guys are a blessing to me, and it's really just so much fun. So, how many people do you say make sure you are contacting daily and developing relationships in order to reach your goals. I reach out to at least three daily. That's my minimum. So no matter what, I contact three. I invite three. I work in the power of threes. I invite three. I comment on three. I reach out. I try to encourage three of my challengers, specifically through voice memos a day. I just try to work in threes every single day. If I have time, I do five, but most of the time it's at least three. What steps separate 2-star from diamond? So 2-star diamond means that you have 2 diamond coaches underneath you. So you're a diamond and you have 2 diamonds underneath you. Oh no, Janice, that's totally okay. There's some people that may not have known that, so I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, I think that's all I have. Does anybody else have any questions before? I would love to pray over our team, if that's okay with everybody, before we close out. But does anybody have any questions? No? Okay. This is something I'd really like to start doing on our team calls. And if somebody's not comfortable with it, you can feel free to sign off. But I really believe in the power of prayer. I believe in God has ordained you all to be on this team. And I believe that he is working in you and through you to do amazing things. And so I just want to pray over you and your businesses and your hearts and your lives. And then we'll sign off. Okay. Lord, I come before you and I just want to thank you for these amazing women on this call and the women and men on our team. Lord, I thank you for the joy of getting to work together towards a common goal. Thank you that we get to look at people and love them the way that you do, God, that we get to look at them and encourage them to find freedom, which is what you want for us. And so I pray over each and every one of these ladies' businesses. Lord, I pray for Beeda. I pray for Kristen. I pray for Katie. I pray for Heather. I pray for Janice. I pray for Rachel. I pray for Kim, Jenna. I'm pregnant brain. I'm looking at everybody's names right here. Jenna. And Lord, I just thank you so much for these women and the way that you have brought them into my life in a way that would impact me so much, God. Thank you for the blessing they are to me. And I pray that you would empower them, encourage them, give them wisdom and favor, God, to reach out to people and continue to change their lives, God, as we impact people for your kingdom. We thank you, Jesus. I thank you for each and every one of them. And we love you so much and ask that you would just bless our evenings and our weeks. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, guys. Rachel, did I say your name? Yes. Okay. I'm like, you guys, on a side note, you guys, I apologize. This pregnancy has taken everything out of me. I have been so sick and I have been so fatigued. And so my brain is like out the window. So if I don't get back to you within like a day or two about something, you message me back, please feel free to message me again, because I feel like I feel like there's something blank here. So anyways, thank you for your patience with me. But I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon. Yeah, the baby is sucking my brain. That's right. Okay. Night, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Margot.